All right, guys. Good morning, everyone. Hawk Rider, what's going on? By the way, Hawk Rider, what's your name? Um, Charles, what's going on? Brent. Oh, Brent. All right. I think I know you as Brent. Fred, what's going on? Joy, how's it going? Let me get everything set up here. My screen should be shared. Anu, what's going on? All right. Okay. We'll make this one quick this morning. Maybe we should be out of here in like 15, 20 minutes. A few things I want to talk about here. Number one, we alluded, I think we talked about it a little in the chat, but we've been waiting for today because we essentially had three big news events that really haven't done much, at least the way the market's reacting. If we just uh, forget about the news events and just looked at the market, we wouldn't really know anything's going on today. Maybe a little more volatility than the previous days, but nothing significant here. We were down a little, we're up a little, but no big deal. Kind of a nothing burger here. First with Powell, what's interesting is even though the market's not reacting, if you heard some of the news, you would think maybe the market is. With the Powell news, let's just look at the headline here. Fed's Powell cautions about higher long-term rates as supply shocks provide policy changes. So essentially what he's saying is whatever's gone on related to tariffs could create supply shocks, and we haven't seen the extent of it yet. That impacts inflation. That will impact long-term rates. So it was kind of a negative talk, way more negative than what the actual what they said in the Fed meeting just was it a week ago now? A week ago. So that's interesting that a very much more negative tone at this meeting where he spoke. Yet the market didn't seem to care, and that could be because of competing interests here. Because we had three things coming out. One was Powell. Two was the PPI numbers, which came in better than expected, meaning inflation rising less than expected. So that's a very good thing. So you have Powell being negative, the PPI numbers being positive, and then retail being kind of flat. It was the numbers were slightly down to like basically an insignificant level. So kind of it all balances out in a sense. Retail, nothing really changing there. PPI, what you'd want to see. Powell not saying what we'd want to hear. So I guess it all balances out and leads to kind of a nothing kind of day today. No real big fireworks to the upside or downside. So this big news event we've been talking about all week. Let's wait till Thursday. Let's see if we get an explosive move in either direction. Ends up being really nothing. Okay, so that's out of the way. These news events are out of the way. We don't have to really think about that. All right, so now let's move on to Reddit. That was the entry from yesterday. And guys, if you have any questions, of course, post them in the chat. I label these pop-up sessions, not pop-up lessons or anything like that, or news. It's mentorship. So the idea here is if you guys have any things you want to talk about, we can talk about them. Reddit was the entry from yesterday and already a pullback today, pulling back with the market. But if we look at the overall extent of the pullback, really an inside day from yesterday, which is good, holding the 90 EMA, holding the 50-day moving average. Now, I had put down 10 points as the stop, and it hit right around 10 points. But because we're still holding the support, holding yesterday's candle, I'm not just going to jump out right away. I'll wait till the end of the day. And as long as we're, at around the level we're at right now, for me, where I entered 12 points, 10 points would be right around 112, and we're sitting at 116 right now. I know some of you I saw in the chat, I think there were maybe a couple of you that I saw cut the cord pretty quick on that. And my thinking is always if two people are doing that, that means more people are doing that. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with just jumping out of a position quickly for a small loss. But I'm going to kind of wait and see today and see how it reacts. And again, if it's sitting at 116, 117, I'll hold on through to tomorrow. Okay, so that's Reddit. A couple of interesting things stock-wise. Let's go over some stocks. And then I also want to go over some of the quantum computing stocks. I really like the way quantum is has been acting since the market run up. So one is Dick's Sporting Goods and Foot Locker. So DKS is buying Foot Locker. So you can see here. And what's interesting is when you think of something like this, I mean, again, the way like you would just logically think of it, oh, okay, DKS becomes a bigger company. They're acquiring a good company like Foot Locker, and that should be a good thing. But it feels like these things almost always the bigger company who's buying initially you see a drop. And we see that here today with DKS. And DKS is down 13%. I'll continue to watch it. This will be just like we do with our earnings gap downs in good stocks. We'll watch DKS and see how it reacts. If it's just in this tight range going forward, nothing to do with it. But if it reverses quickly, we'll obviously consider it. Notice here Foot Locker, the big back gap up, but and that's essentially usually around the acquiring price, and then you get a tight little range like that because of. And if you look at on the daily, you can really see here how tight it is. But the point is with DKS, you can see the big gap down. So we'll keep an eye on that. DKS is not on any lists right now, like the Focus 40, but we'll continue to watch it. SFM is on the Focus 40, and you can see here it's interesting, and this is why you don't want to micromanage your positions and worry about every little 2 or 3 day run. Remember Netflix when the market was popping earlier this week and Netflix wasn't? It was like, oh, what's wrong with Netflix? Nothing. Netflix is strong, has been strong since. And SFM had the pullback here, but now is showing really nice strength along the 50-day moving averages and the 9 EMA. If you were looking for something today, I think Sprouts might be a good one here, SFM. So watch this one around the 9 EMA. Now let's look at the quantum computing stocks. And whenever you look at quantum computing, they're generally moving together. But we're generally looking at two things. One is the energy suppliers for the quantum computing, and then the more quantum computing stocks. And it's interesting, with these things, you often think of it as the pure plays, as okay, this is my quantum computing play, or any industry you're looking at. But it's often the kind of backbone industries. Like if you go back way back when to like the internet boom, you had all these internet companies like Yahoo and so on. It was the companies providing the infrastructure like Oracle that were the really big movers, and we're seeing that again where these pure plays are nice, and we can definitely trade those. We've been watching RGTI, but it's these companies that provide the backbone, like some of the software companies or the energy producing companies. So CEG, the chart is better than say a more pure play like RGTI, which is also a good stock to play right now, or IB, IONQ, and QBTS. Here's IONQ, QBTS, but the energy producers like CEG here very strong. So keep an eye out on that. VST very strong as well. So CEG, VST, what's the other one? Oklo. I get Oklo, Akla, and another one that's very similar, mixed up all the time. But Oklo here above the 50-day moving average as well. So I would pay attention to these energy producers related to quantum, and they're providing potential setups here. And then the more pure plays again, RGTI, and right now of RGTI, IONQ, QBTS. I think I like RGTI just in terms of not the companies themselves, but just the setup itself right now. I really like RGTI. We were talking about this one yesterday for potential entry, and still looks good today as well. All right, quantum computing. Let's take a look at Netflix and Meta. Netflix here was pulling back, has remounted the 9 EMA. I'm kind of kicking myself a little because we talked about it on this day as a potential entry, and you can see what it's done now since. But breaking out to highs again. So definitely pay attention to Netflix. Those of you who don't like to trade the $1,000 stocks, you can off the top of my head, if someone knows it, post a ticker here. The leveraged ETF for Netflix, you can trade that, which will be at a much lower price level there. And then Meta, we took our profits there, and now is starting to pull back to the 290 EMA Watching this one very closely. Oh, this isn't it. No, sorry, Meta here. Here we go. Had made the big run up, starting to pull back. I want to watch this thing at the bottom of this bar here and the 9 EMA. Does it pull back to that level? And we might get some good entries. All of our spots here where we took profits, they're starting to pull back a little bit, and we'll look for more entries. I'm not hesitant to jump back into these stocks if they give us good setups. All right. Before we get to the Focus 40, one more thing, our continuation of going over those Focus 40 stocks. BABA, I'm taking out of the Focus 40 for now. When we were going over BABA yesterday, because what we've been doing is going through each of these stocks and why they're just a little explanation of why they're on the list. And the factors that, there's general factors that we want most of the stocks to have. We talked about the momentum, the pullback, the relative strength on the pullback, and then showing, clearing resistance levels. So basically strong continuation patterns, and then having revenue growth and earnings growth. And we have some exceptions to that. BABA was one of the exceptions because we wanted a couple of China stocks in there. And obviously BABA is a China leader. We still have SE in there. But BABA here gapped down on earnings today. So a good excuse to take it out because, we also decided, we were thinking, do we expand the Focus 40? We'll go up to Focus 50. But do we keep expanding? And we decided, no, we want a tight list of the best stocks, which makes it difficult because there's so many good stocks to put in there right now. So we'll take BABA out. That gives me room to put a couple more in that I really like, and I'll probably do that in a day or two. But we'll take BABA out for now, a gap down. That being said, even though it's out of the Focus 40, it is on our earnings list, the EBQ2 2025, where we put mostly the earnings breakouts, but some interesting earnings breakdowns as well that we're interested in for potential reversals. And BABA is definitely on that list. So we'll keep an eye out. Do we get the gap down reversal play in BABA? All right. Let's go over the Focus 40, and we're doing this in alphabetical order. We did the first 15 yesterday, stopped at Dulongo, I think. So we'll start with Fix today. Before I do that, let me get to see there's some questions in here. Thank you, Brent. Brent posted NFXL bull leverage and NFXS as the bear leveraged for Netflix. Neha points out that CRDO is also a good backbone play for quantum computing as well. Joy, okay, went light on RDT yesterday in anticipation. Okay, good. So yeah, anytime you take a smaller position size, obviously that gives you more room to hold because your risk is less. Brent got out of RDT, but small loss. Yeah, small losses are no big deal. Okay, good. All right, let's take a look now. So just a quick refresher again. The type of stocks we're looking for on our Focus 50 are stocks that have potential for a lot of volatility. And our sweet spot in terms of float size is like 50 million to 400 million. And you can see here, Fix is at 35 million, so a little lower, which is fine. And then have been momentum stocks, handled the pullback well or recovered very quickly, leaders in their field, and so on. Stocks that we think can be the big movers, kind of the new leaders coming out here. And we're looking to get a good mix of industries as well. So Fix in engineering and construction, we can see here, was a strong momentum stock, had the deep pullback, maybe deeper than we would want, but showing some relative strength here. And you can see here almost at highs. So I like this one a lot. And it's very volatile as well. And let's take a look at the earnings and revenue growth. I don't remember it right off the top of my head. Earnings growth at 65%, revenue growth is at 30%. Remember, we said we want our revenue growth to be above 10%. So this one's at 30, which is obviously very good. So let me actually keep this out to here so we can keep looking at these numbers and then pull this thing out. I thought I muted everyone here. Someone is not muted. So if your volume is on, turn that off, please. So we're on Fix. Let's go to HIMS. We know HIMS has been very strong. Another factor we like as well is short interest. So potential for short squeeze. HIMS is kind of one of the poster children for short squeezes, and had another one, as we can see here. Look at all this good volume as well. Now it's pulling back here. We talked about this as it was hitting highs that we expected a pullback. We're going to watch HIMS very closely for a potential entry now. And then in terms of why we like it, it's pretty obvious here. It's been a very strong stock. And then look at this earnings growth, 6,900%, revenue growth, 85%. So fits the bill there. HLT, we want some stocks in travel and leisure. Hilton in lodging fits the bill there. And you can see, again, similar pattern here to HIMS, maybe not quite as explosive. And then revenue growth, earnings growth, 37%. Revenue growth maybe a little lighter at 7%, but still good there. Hood, look at the revenue growth, 60%. Earnings growth, crazy, 1,000%. Obviously, sometimes you get these crazy numbers here because their earnings were so small before that it's very easy to get these big numbers there. But definitely Hood, again, type of stock we're looking, it exactly fits the bill. A little bigger on the float size, but we don't mind because it's so volatile. The reason we pay attention to the small floats is because they have potential for volatility, and obviously Hood does as well. And I'm pretty sure Hood has a good short interest as well. HWM, aerospace and defense, obviously with what's going on in the world, Ukraine, Middle East, and so on, and now India as well, that some of these aerospace and defense stocks, you want to have a few of these on your list. So HWM, 10% growth, 49% on earnings growth. So decent there. But look at the trend here. Very strong. Handled the pullback very well. And now look at this. Just making new all-time high after new all-time high. So obviously a stock we want to be watching. We've talked about IonQ. Of course, we want some quantum computing stocks in here. And with these, it's kind of pick your poison between some of these. So I just put Ion. I don't think I have RGTI on this list, which I definitely could put in there. 69% on the revenue growth. No earnings growth, but that's okay. These companies are spending a lot in terms of research, development, and so on. So we just want to make sure they have revenue growth, that they're continuing on that part. So remember this: if you're looking at earnings and revenue can be earnings can be manipulated more, and two, sometimes, especially with these developing companies, they're spending a lot on research and all that, but there still seem to be potential for being quality companies. Pay attention to their revenue growth. That's more important. And IonQ has very strong revenue growth. All right, ISRG, we want a few stocks in medical instruments, and devices, healthcare. ISRG is also related to AI in this field as well. And 20% for, company that's been around so long and so big, having 20% revenue growth is good, and 20% earnings growth. And look at how strong of a momentum stocks this has been. So obviously fits the bill, and near all-time highs, above the 50, above the 200. Melly in retail, this is one area that's kind of lagging in our focus 40 right now. Focus 50. I want to get some more consumer discretionary stocks in here related to specialty retail, apparel, and so on. We don't have a ton of that. Melly is one that's really good. And you can see here has been in a strong trend, held up very well, and now is at all-time highs, and then has very strong revenue and earnings growth as well. And notice here, it did gap down on earnings, but the numbers are still very good. MMYT, this is travel booking for China. And you can see here, has been a very strong momentum stock, maybe a little more range bound of late. But if we look here, 28% revenue growth, and again, an area we want to be looking at in travel and leisure. MSTR software for crypto, and you can see here, this one is an exception, and maybe I'll take it out, but I've loved the tradability of this stock. And anytime crypto start to move, MSTR starts to move. So that's why I have this in here. But you see all this green, basically pretty much that revenue growth is a rule for our list, right? And with maybe a couple of exceptions. BABA was an exception. We just took that one out. MSTR was an exception, -6% on revenue growth and no earnings either. But look how strong the stock has been in terms of a stock to trade, and then held up very well on the pullback, never violated the 200-day moving average. 50 always stayed above the 200 and is not far from all-time highs right now. So for now, it's on the list. Now, now is one that maybe I would consider taking off the list. It has 20% revenue growth, has negative earnings, had a deeper pullback than a lot of the stocks in its field here, but recovered very quickly. But I'm thinking here now that maybe there are better stocks I can put in here. And I think part of it was I loved the stock when it was in this trend, 2023 to 2024. But this is one that I might be able to replace with something else. Okta, we like this one, obviously. The pattern's a little different than some of these other things, but had the bottoming formation, the cup and handle breakout, all this good green volume here. Obviously, we're in this right now. It's showing relative strength today. We could take profits here if we wanted, but I still obviously like it a lot, and there's a lot of room to run. 15% on the revenue growth, 100% on the earnings growth as well. Let's go over one more. ONON, another one that's in retail, footwear and accessories. Recent IPO in 2021 and is above the IPO high currently, had an earnings breakout as well. And it was a strong momentum stock, showing relative strength, 35 on the revenue growth, 60% on earnings as well. So you see some common themes with these stocks that are showing momentum, and that is that they have strong revenues. So we're at 27 now, and we'll do another 10 or 15 tomorrow. But I think you're starting to see a theme of why these stocks are on our Focus 50. And there's multiple ways you can use the Focus 50. One is a lot of you are working and you don't have time to go over tons of stocks. You can just have the link, pull up your Focus 50, and just look for stocks in here every day to trade. You're getting some of the best stocks, best momentum stocks to potentially trade, and other various ways you can also, when these things start to really run, you can look for shorts in these as well. And we had that potentially in HIMSS recently. All right, let's see if you have any other questions. Otherwise, we'll end this pop-up session. Charles re-entered RDT. Okay. Charles is asking if you exited something, he's specific to RDDT, can you re-enter it today? My answer would be is yes. When I exit something, get stopped out, there was a reason I like the stock. And if it shows me that it's showing the things that I wanted to see before, I won't hesitate to get back in. I will say that can be a slippery slope. Sometimes, you get kind of, you have this kind of bias towards this stock because you liked it and you want it to do well, and you can get in and out, in and out. So I always ask myself strategically, is there a really strong strategic reason to enter? If there is, I won't hesitate to re-enter that stock. And with RDT now, if you got stopped out, I'd probably wait a little bit now. And maybe if it got back up here, you can get back in. Okay, Rick bought some more of RDTT on the pullback. That's fine. I would just make sure when you're buying more that you're still within your overall risk parameters. You don't want to get too big on these things. Yeah, that is something you can pay attention to, Jason. All right. Okay, so we'll do hopefully we'll do another one of these tomorrow, and we'll wrap up the rest of the Focus 40. All right, guys. Get the report out later today, and I'll see you guys in the chat.